Two listings per month. Two listings per month. That's our goal and objective. You're probably wondering, how do you do that, Mike? And my answer, first of all, is I don't know. That's what we're here to figure out. Uh, but I'll tell you what we're going to talk about on this video, and that is uh, we're going to talk about the target that I'm going out to, who I think would be the prime group to mention this, to do this series to. So if that's something you want to learn about, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone, and this channel is called Two Listings Per Month, and we're going to focus on how can you go out there and generate two listings per month by direct mail, only working 2 hours per day and earning at least 2 points per listing, okay, as the objective. And I think I hit everything. There's no outbound phone calls. We're trying to get sellers to call us and ask us to come over and list their property, right? That's the main objective. And I've done that in my career. It's a blast. In fact, the month that I took 21 listings in 30 days, they all called me. That was all, by the way, at different seller tables. Everybody was an individual. I wasn't working with a builder, because people ask. I wasn't working with a builder or an investor, REO or anything. It was just 21 different sellers I met. And I think that month I probably met with more than that. I didn't keep that stat, but I bet you it was probably not a lot more, maybe 25 to 30, somewhere in there, because not all of them signed that month, or even at all. But 21 of them did, and it was a lot of fun. Anyway, we'll put that to the side. So if you're here and you want to learn about who our target group is, then you're in the right place. Let's chat. Our target group is, what's the objective? The objective here is to find people who want to sell their home so we can help them by listing it and getting it sold. Right? I mean, that's the objective. Sometimes you have to simplify things because we complicate things. And that's what we want to do. So we're trying to figure out who is a high probability seller, because direct mail is expensive. I've done geographic farming, which is where you go out to a lot of people and you're just looking for a couple to call back, and it works. But boy, it's expensive, and if you get it wrong, it's dramatically expensive. I mean, I did direct mail farms where I started with 1,000, I think, and then I went 2,500, then definitely 5,000 for a long time, then 10,000. That was mailing to twice a month, and my farm got up to 35,000 in a month. I mean, that's a lot of mail. And so if you don't have everything dialed in, notice I had to scale it up because I had to test. We talked about that before. We had to test. And anyway, what I would prefer to do is, if possible, find a group of people who've raised their hand and said, hey, I'm thinking about selling my home, and then narrowly focus in on them, okay? Because then I've got a much smaller group. I send much fewer pieces of mail. And now what's kind of cool is I can actually send multiple pieces of mail to the same person and still not spend as much as I would if I were trying to go out to everybody and trying to find somebody randomly. Does that make sense? All right, so that's kind of the first concept. And I know the veterans are getting ahead of me, but I'm getting there because I've got people listening at all different levels of their real estate career. And so what I'm looking for, again, is people that have raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm thinking about selling. I'm looking for a way to get a property sold. They don't know what it's going to be, but that's their objective. And there are some classic ways to do that, classic groups of people. It's very competitive markets, but there are classic groups. So I'm going to tell you what they are. There's two of them we're going to focus on. I'm looking at a third one, but we're going to focus on two right now. And the first one is expired listings. Okay, that's actually starting to occur in the market more. I'm a little surprised at how many are popping up in my market. You should check out your market. And they're starting to be what I call real expireds. It's kind of interesting because the market was so fast for so long. Agents are taking listings for a very short period of time, like 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. And if they don't hit that, if they don't get their system dialed and they get that sell quick and have the price right and everything has to be lined up, they end up expired. And I feel bad for them. But now the seller's mad and the seller's not going to hire them again. I mean, I have my share of expireds over the years, by the way. I'm not perfect. Where I had a listing that didn't work and it expired, and another agent came in and sold it. I mean, I was sad at the time for sure, but ultimately I'm happy that the seller got the result they wanted. Um, anyway, there's a lot of expired listings out there. And in the United States, we can, as other agents, once it becomes purely expired, you got to look at your MLS rules. But in my MLS, if it's truly expired, not withdrawn, but expired, then other agents can go chat with them. In my MLS, if it's withdrawn, you cannot go talk to them. You need to find out what the rules are in your MLS, because some of the MLSs apparently you can talk to them with their withdrawn, but don't take my word for it. Go ask your MLS. And don't take my word for it even on expireds. Go ask your MLS, because I think in Canada, I was trying to get confirmation, they can't even go after expireds. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I remember hearing from some folks. If you are from Canada, tell me in the comments below, is it true that Canadians cannot go after expired listings? But here in the US, we can. And that's going to be my first target group. Why? Those people said, hey, I want to sell my house, which is awesome. And then number two, they said, hey, I want to hire an agent. And number three, they said, hey, I'm willing to pay a commission. So these people are really awesome people to work with. It's just our market had been so hot that there were a lot fewer of them. Okay, so when markets slow down, there's a lot of expireds, and when market heats up, there's much fewer expireds. There's always expireds, it's just how many. And right now, at least in my market, it's been picking up. We're getting a lot more expireds popping into the market. I've been kind of surprised. I'm in Metro Denver, by the way. And in Metro Denver, I think there were 3 this morning, but yesterday there were like 20, and the day before that there were 15. I mean, we're starting to see quite a few expireds popping into the market. Usually the biggest day of a month would be the 1st. So the 31st of the prior month, the 1st happens, and you're going to see the biggest number pop up. And I'm talking about numbers in the middle of the month. So that's why it's actually pretty good to get out there and find out. So number one target is expired listings. They want to sell their home. They're willing to hire an agent. They're willing to pay commission. Number two target is, yeah, I know my veterans are already telling me, it's going to be for sale by owners. For sale by owners. Again, these people are great because they said, hey, I want to sell my home. Now, they don't say, hey, I want to hire an agent. They're not saying that. And they don't say, I'm willing to pay an agent. No. Although what you're going to find out is many of them have a backup plan in their head. They're like, I'm going to try this on my own for X days. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to break down and hire an agent. In the meantime, I'm going to try to sell it on my own and save the commission. And then after they try that for a couple days or weeks, they're like, you know what, maybe I'll pay some of the commission. So they'll say to buyer agents, hey, if you bring me a buyer, I'll pay a little bit. So now they're already willing to pay a little bit of commission. And then by the end of whatever their date is, or they just get fed up with whatever they're receiving, they're like, okay, fine, look, I'll pay whatever to get out of this. It's such a mess. That's what happened to the guy I just talked to a little while ago. On the phone, this guy had been trying to sell for sell by owner. He put a listing in Zillow, and instead of getting buyers to call him, he's getting all these what he called scammers, right? People are trying to buy his home with no money down, and people are trying to just take over his property on this some kind of weird contract. And he's like, who are they? What is this stuff? I was trying to find a buyer. And so anyway, you got to look at it through the eyes of the person you are communicating with, not your shoes, but their shoes. In your shoes, you want a listing. In their shoes, they're like, yeah, I want to sell my home, but for FSBO, it's like, but I don't want to pay commission. I want to make as much money as possible, which is human nature. We all want that. And so if you can empathize with them, it makes your marketing communication a lot better to them. Okay. So that's the two groups that we're going to be talking about as we move forward. That's expired listings and for sale by owners. Okay. If that's something you want to know more about and how to approach through direct mail, remember everything is inbound calls. We're trying to get them to call us. If that's something you want to learn about, then go ahead and join us. Subscribe to the channel, become part of our group as we move forward and we learn more about this process together. This is kind of like a video blog where I'm just kind of sharing my experiences as we move along. And so we've got that. And then if you like this video, by the way, give it a thumbs up. You know, it helps the channel. Give it a like. And also comments. If you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, but I got questions, go ahead and put them down below. Or you say, hey, yeah, that makes sense to me and I like that. Go ahead and make a comment down below. Or if you think, Mike, that doesn't make any sense at all, write that down below too. I'd love to hear that feedback. That all helps. And if you know of an agent who could benefit from this, they're trying to figure out their business and how to take, say, 2 listings a month. Share this with them. Let them know about the channel. Appreciate that. Get the word out there. Thank you so much. All right. Well, hopefully this has been helpful. And hopefully I covered the topics I was going to cover. Because again, I don't have a big outline or organization. I'm usually very organized with what I do, but I'm trying to do this all on the fly and just kind of help you out as we go. And kind of share my experiences. So hope you have a great day. I hope this has been beneficial, and take care. Bye now.